Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the online sessions on fuzzy logic. So, in today's session, I just wanted to go with unit number 4 because unit number 4 is the easiest unit to score in the end examination. It has got put together around 6 to 7 methods, that's all. So, using these methods, only 6 methods we have in the syllabus, 6 to 7 methods we have in the syllabus. So, all the methods are going to be very, very simple methods of defuzzification. So fourth unit comprising of the defuzzification methods. So before that, you should know what is defuzzification. What is defuzzification? It is nothing but conversion of fuzzy data into the crisp data. It is known as the defuzzification. So we have several methods. In that we'll discuss one by one, methods one by one, right? And in the examination, we will be given one membership function, or you will be given discrete data. So from that, you have to simply go with finding out the maximum membership principle. Using maximum membership principle, you have to find out the crisp data. So what is crisp data? That means this is the fuzzy data actually. So fuzzy data on x-axis, this is fuzzy elements, and this is going to be the membership functions. So the membership function is going to have various values. The values of membership function are normally going to vary with respect to the elements of the fuzzy set. So now we understood that we will represent the fuzzy set by using its values along with the membership functions. In the case of the classical set, we only represent the values of the set. So here in the fuzzy set, apart from the values, we normally going to have the membership functions also. So we normally represent by using membership functions. Now this entire thing, inclusive of mu a of x and x, is going to be known as the fuzzy set representation for us. So we want to convert this entire fuzzy set into a crisp data. Crisp means what? An exact data, or a more close to the exact data is known as the crisp data for us. So first method is going to be very simple method, that is a maximum membership principle method. So what is this maximum membership principle? The maximum membership principle says that, or gives us the maximum membership value of a fuzzy function as shown below. So in a given membership function, you have to simply look into the maximum value of the membership function. Now if you see carefully, this is the maximum value of the membership function. This entire function is known as the membership function. What is the maximum of this? This is the maximum value of the membership function. Now corresponding to this maximum value, what is the value we are going to obtain? It is going to be x star. Now we represent defuzzified value as x star. That is the representation of defuzzified value. So we represent the defuzzified value known as crisp data as x star. So corresponding to the maximum value of the membership, we normally going to find out the crisp data from the fuzzy data given to us. So this is what the representation we have for the maximum membership principle. Using maximum membership principle, we simply got here the crisp data from the fuzzy data. So this entire data is fuzzy data. From this entire fuzzy data, we got a crisp data using the maximum membership function. Now mathematically, how we represent the principle of maximum membership function? Mathematically, how we represent is something like this. Mu a of x star should be greater than or equal to mu a of x for all x belongs to capital X. That means mu a of star, this is nothing but this maximum value is called mu a of star for us. This value should be compulsory greater than mu a of x. All these values are mu a of x should be greater than or equal to mu a of x for all the x belongs to capital X. So this is what the condition under which this particular this particular maximum membership function really works to find out the crisp data. Then second membership function that we can really look into is going to be the mean maximum membership function, or it can also be called as a middle of maxima method. Middle of maxima method. So here these methods are normally applicable for symmetrical functions only. The function should be compulsorily a symmetrical function. So it is something like middle of maxima method. In this middle of maxima method, let us suppose, what is this function called as? This function is, this particular membership function is simply known as the union of several other trapezoidal fuzzy sets. Say for example, this is going to be one fuzzy set, another fuzzy set is going to be going like this, another fuzzy set is, this is one fuzzy set, another fuzzy set is this, and third fuzzy set is this. That means by simply adding three fuzzy sets, we have simply got this particular fuzzy set. So we have simply got this member function. So that means this is the representation of a union of the various fuzzy sets given in the problem. Now what is important is, this is the final relational fuzzy set which we have got, which is known as mu of z. If you are writing it for some name to the relation, you can as well write the name to the relation as mu u of z or mu r of z, okay, mu a of z, mu b of z, whatever it is. So it is not something like a membership function representation. Now how do we find out the mean maximum membership? What is the meaning of mean? Mean value. Mean, you have to find out the mean value. Mean means what? You should know compulsorily two different values. So it is also called as a middle of maxima. So middle of maxima means what? You have to find out the middle value from the two maxima values. Middle value from the two maxima values, you have to really find out from this particular function. And only one problem here, it is that this particular method is applicable only to the symmetrical functions only. That is what the care you have to take. So now if you observe this carefully, what is the maximum membership value? This is the maximum membership value which is there in the membership function given to us. Now this maximum value is decreasing. It has started decreasing from here, and it has started decreasing from here. That means there is a discontinuity here. Now these are the limits that we normally going to take up here, and at this value you got 5, at this transition you got 7. So what is the mean value of this entire membership function for this? It is simply 5 plus 7 by 2. So if you take this element as a, this extreme element, the first element as a, the extreme second element as going to be b, then mean of a plus b you have to find out. That means it is going to be here in this case, it is 5 plus 7 by 2. Therefore it will be equal to 6. So 6 is going to be the mean maximum membership value. Mean maximum membership value. This is how we normally going to find out the mean maximum membership value function. Let's go with another method called as weighted average method. Weighted average method, and we are going to, I have explained this by using two methods, this particular weighted average method. So we have to, what is the goal of this for defuzzification? Finally you have to find out the crisp data, that's all. Whatever may be the method we use in the defuzzification, finally you have to find out the crisp data from the given fuzzy data. Now this entire representation, the pictorial representation, this entire thing is called fuzzy data. This entire thing is known as the fuzzy data given to us. Now from such fuzzy data, you have to simply find out the crisp data. Crisp means what? Exact value, only a unique value without any ambiguity. So you should get the exact, you should get the value for this particular defuzzification results known as the crisp data. Okay. So weighted average method. What is the meaning of weighted average method? What are the weights of these particular fuzzy set values? See, these are the weights, 0.7, 0.1, all these are the weights of this particular. Weight is nothing but what? Strength of the membership functions. So the strength of the maximum strength here, I got 0.7 in this graph. And for this particular next portion of the graph, maximum is going to be 1. So these two are nothing but, you know, weights of the membership function given to us. So here it is called weighted average method. Weighted average means what? We simply find out this by using the, this is the maximum value multiplied by its value of the membership. value of the membership divided by, once again, the membership function. So let us take this example as a first example. Now we can represent data as X or as well as Z. It is our representation. You can keep this as X, Y, Z or any other letter that we really choose it could be like. So therefore here I've just explained this particular thing by using two variables. One is going to be Z, another one is going to be, say, something like X. So in the exam you can represent either method, nothing wrong in that. Right. So let us suppose in this particular graph, I have represented the variable with Z. Okay. Now, what is the formula that I have now? Sigma of mu of x into x by sigma of mu x. Okay. Now, how many fuzzy sets are there involved in this? There are two fuzzy sets. How can I say? See, this is going to be one fuzzy set ending like this, and this is going to be another fuzzy set. The union of these two fuzzy sets is going to be this as the resultant union of the two fuzzy sets, and this is what the relational fuzzy set given to us. So it involves two. That means I is equal to 1 to n. I am going to write. So n is going to be 2 here. That is 1 to 2. That means two fuzzy sets are involved here. So number of fuzzy sets involved here is going to be simply 2 over here for us. So we have to expand it for 2 times. Let's take up this problem now. So in this problem, if you see, so there are so many values starting from 0 to say something like 9 or 10 here. Then the middle of this trapezoidal is having 3. The middle of second trapezoidal is having, say, 7. Okay. So weighted average method. Weighted average means what? You should take the middle value of this multiplied by its corresponding value of the membership element, element of the fuzzy set. So I can write this is going to be 0.7 into 3 plus 1 into 7 by the number of membership values that we normally going to have. The membership values are 0.7 and 1.0. So 0.7 plus 0.1 are the membership values. So once you calculate this, we're normally going to get a value as something like 5.353, which is known as the crisp data, which we have obtained. Okay, known as defuzzified data from the given relational fuzzy set. Now, next example, let us look into here as going to be a sequence of triangular functions has been given to us. Okay. Now, what is the actual function we normally going to get after you trace out the union of all these things? We get it like this. You get a triangular up to here. Then from here it extends like this. From here it extends like this. From here it extends like this. Like this we normally going to get. So this is what the tracing of the entire boundary of this particular union of the relational fuzzy set for us. So, but what is so important for us is that we should look into the values, membership value of the membership functions along with the elements on the fuzzy set. So let us start applying this particular formula here. Sigma of mu a of z into x by mu a of z. So here I am taking the variable as x here. So therefore I can write this as sigma of mu a of x into x by sigma of mu a of x. Okay, where x is some union matrix, which is a relation, which is going to give us the relationship between how many fuzzy sets I have? 4 fuzzy sets here. So let us try to find out the crisp value here now from this entire data. So crisp value is equal to what I can write now. 60 is the maximum element value. So the element value where we got a maximum, the membership value is going to be 0.6. So 60 into 0.6 plus 70 into 0.4 plus 80 into 0.2 and plus 90 into 0.2 by its membership values. What are the membership values for individual? For this test, it's going to be 0.6, 0.4, 0.2 and again 0.2. So simply we have substituted here all these things and you just simply you solve this ratio. Once you solve this ratio, we got the value as around 70. So 70 is going to be the crisp data, which is the result of union of these four fuzzy sets in terms of the crisp value or exact value. Now, same as the previous method, like weighted average method is also applicable only to the symmetrical function. See, this is a symmetrical function and this is also a symmetrical function. That means you should not have a union of triangular function with a trapezoidal function. Okay, or combination of different functions. You should have union of the similar kind of thing. Therefore, that function is normally going to be called something like as a symmetrical function. Okay. Then this is what the weighted average method to find out the final CRISP data, which we will be getting over here. The next function that we can think of is going to be center of sum method. Center of sum method. So let us suppose we use a trapezoidal function again. In this trapezoidal function, it has got two bases. See, this 0 to this value is going to be one base, and from here to here, b1 is nothing but another base. So b2 is one base, b1 is another base. Base means what? We normally going to lay this function, okay, on base b1 or on base b2. So presently it is laid on base b2. You can simply make this to lay on the base b1 also. Okay. So these two are the bases under consideration. So in this method, what is the formula which we are going to use to find out the CRISP data? Z star is equal to sigma of Zi into A by sigma of AI into AI by sigma of AI. So what is AI? It is nothing but area of the fuzzy set under consideration. Zi is going to be the value at a value of element at ith value of fuzzy set element at ith value at ith element value. So now let us look into this formula now. Next, how do we find out the area of this trapezoidal? It is going to be equal to 1 by 2 half into b1 plus b2 into height of the trapezoid. It is equal to into h. So therefore, the formula is the formula for area of trapezoid. Now, what is most important in this center of sum method is that you should compulsorily aware of the area of the various functions. So if trapezoidal function is given to us, you should know the area of the trapezoidal function. If triangular function is given to us, you should know the area of the triangle. Right. So if it is a Gaussian function given to us, you should know the area of the Gaussian function. Therefore, just keep aside or keep the values of various membership functions such as trapezoidal, triangular, Gaussian membership functions, bell-shaped curve. So all these areas, if you know, then simply you can find out this particular CRISP data from these particular results. Let us see how we normally going to get now. So base B1 is nothing but from here to here is base B1. From here to here it is going to be base B2. So let us solve this now. Now we'll take three fuzzy sets. Now these three are the three fuzzy sets called C1, C2, C3 are the three fuzzy sets. Now every set is going to have some trapezoidal shape with a varying areas. Right. So say the function is given something like this, where this is base B1. What is the base of this? It is going to be 4 minus 2 is the base of this B1. What is base of B2? It is simply 5 minus 1. It is called 4. Similarly, base of B2 for base 2 of C2 function is equal to something like 7 minus 3 is equal to 4. And it is going to be 6 minus 4 is going to be 3. Similar to this, to C3 also. So B2 base 2 of C3 function is equal to what? No, 6 minus 2, 4. And it's going to be 5, it's going to be 3, 5 minus 3 is going to be 2. So that is the functions we normally going to have. Let us try to find out the areas of these three individual figures for us. And one more value which we are going to use here, z. Z is nothing but uh, geometric centers. The geometric centers in the appropriate figure given to us is known as the Z1, Z2 and Z3. Okay, they are known as geometric centers. See here, this 3 is center of these two. 1 and 2, there are two elements here before Z1. There are two elements after Z1. If you see this, there are two elements before Z2, two elements after Z2. So there are two elements before Z3, two elements after Z3. That means this is known as the center, geometric center of this particular entire given values of the fuzzy set. Now find out A1 now. A1 is nothing but 1 by 2 into B1 plus B2. B1 is nothing but how much? 4 minus 2 is nothing but this length B1. So B1 plus, it is 5 minus 1, it is going to be 4 into, what is the height of this? It is 0.2. So A1 is equal to 0.6. Similar to that, I can find out A2. A2 is equal to simply 1. What is the formula? 1 by 2 into B1 plus B2. B1 is 6 minus 4. It is 2. B2 is 7 minus 3. 7 minus 3 is 4 into height. Height is nothing but is equal to 1 given over here. So 1. So A2 is equal to 3. And next for last figure, A3 is equal to 1 by 2 into B1. B1 is nothing but 5 minus 3, 2. B2 is nothing but 6 minus 2, 4 into zero point 0.4 is the height of the trapezoid. A3 is equal to 1.2. Then substitute all these three, A1, A2, A3 in the given formula for us. So what is the formula here? I am going to have I is equal to 1 to n. So what is n? N is nothing but 3. Why 3? Because there are three fuzzy sets given. There are three fuzzy sets given. So since there are three fuzzy sets given to us, we can just go with the, now in the exam, he may combine these three sets and he may give us a combined set among these three. Even then also you can able to find out them in the using the same formula. So sigma of I is equal to 1, 2, 3, because I is nothing but 3 is nothing but the number of fuzzy sets. 3 number of fuzzy sets are there, into Zi into Ai is the basic formula by sigma of Ai. Let us expand this by substituting the value of I here. So I is equal to 1 means Z1 A1 by A1 plus I is equal to 2 means Z2 A2 by A2 plus Z3 A3 by A3. So this is the formula we have. So simply what is Z1? Centroid values of individual things of the first set is Z1. Centroid of second set is Z2. Centroid of third set is Z3. So therefore we can simply find out Z1 means what? 3 into 0.6. It is 5 into 3 plus 4 into 0.4 plus Z3. What is Z3? 4. 4 into A3. I'm sorry. A3 is nothing but is equal to 1.2 by the individual areas. So I'll be getting this Z star as is equal to 4.5. So this is the final crisp value that we have simply got it over here. And last method, which is also going to be very simple method, known as first of or last of maxima method. So first of maxima FOM and last of maxima can be written as equal to LOM. Last of maxima, first of maxima. So we can write this first of maxima is equal to, the crisp set is equal to infimum value of Z belongs to Z is nothing but this value is approximated with respect to the height of the membership function. Similarly, last of maxima is nothing but supremum value, which is also going to be based on the height of the function. Let us think about this function given to us. This is the function given to us. This is the function given to us. So first of maxima is equal to Z star. First of maxima Z star is equal to. Now, how do we find out this value? What is the first max? There are so many maximum values of these membership functions. Now, what is the first of maximum among these three? This is the first of maximum. Yes or no? So, whichever is comes first maximum, okay, in this function is going to be first of maximum. So, this value is nothing but is equal to 2. And last of maximum is what? What is the last maximum function? Last maximum value. This is the last maximum value. We got this value as equal to 7 here. Okay. So this is what the various functions using which we'll simply find out the defuzzified value called as crisp data from the given fuzzy data. So in all these methods, what we did, we simply converted this fuzzy data into the crisp data. See, this is the entire data given to us as the input, and what is the output of defuzzification? It is equal to either 2 or 7 based on the method that we normally use it in the problem over here. Okay. So, and we left over with one more method, last method, that we'll discuss in the next session. So please try to practice these methods. So put together, we got only 6 methods altogether. So this, with these 6 methods, we normally going to complete the unit number 4. That means for to complete unit number 4, we require one more session. So with one more session, we'll be completing out the unit number 4. And some small portions are left over in unit number 3, like inference. Okay, and then after we complete the inference in unit number 3, and we simply jump on to unit number 5 after we completing this unit number 4. So why I am going towards unit number 4? Because it is very, very easy to practice. So please practice these questions. It is simple elementary mathematics kind of thing. You can easily score well in the unit number 4. So thank you very much for the today's session.